Welcome back. Here's the Storm fans. We are now going into our third and final best of 5 of the night. MVP Miracle up against Supreme Mixtape. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited to see how SMT does. They put up a little bit of a fight against L5 on Friday, but it was L5. So, you know, everybody looks weaker in comparison to L5. But how will they do against Miracle, who lost already to Mighty this season?
Yep, both of these teams played in day 1, and they had some time. They had a little bit more time, plus 24 hours, plus a little bit more to practice and get some strategy, watch some VOD. Also, they had to watch some VODs from HGC Korea to actually see what the opponent kind of has. But it looks like both teams, not super perfected yet, but if we have to compare, I would put MVP Miracle a little bit more favor.
I would say definitely so. Supreme Mixtape is a new team, a new roster. Miracle has a changed roster, and with the additions of course, Dami and Honkono, there's a lot that you really have to think about in terms of what they're going to play like, and how much time they have had together, which is very limited. So they've had one extra day, like you said. They had some tournament experience with each other, so this team is, it was in the finals, won the wildcard qualifier. It was in the finals of Gold Club's World Championship, and they got crushed by L5. Then their next match they played, televised, was actually their match against Mighty, where they lost 3-2. So, does it mean Mighty's really strong? It absolutely could. Or is this just Miracle still needs some time to adjust to their new roster? I'm not entirely sure, but today we're going to find out as they play up against a somewhat weaker team than L5.
Yep, as I want to stress that the Honkono and Dami are the two new players on the rosters. As Reset and Tist went to MVP Black, they had to fill that hole with 2 spots. Then that duo came from Tempest. And it looks like the teamwork is not 100%. 100% perfect yet, but here comes Dami, the key player. Of course, he was favoring a lot of the melee assassins, but right now the meta is not 100%. It does not fit for him exactly, I guess.
Yeah, this is not the meta to be a melee assassin. He did play the Zarya and he played Dahaka. These two heroes are still very much meta. Zeratul is coming back in Korea, but with limited success so far. Hamlin Zeratul definitely not looking too strong. The best Zeratul we've seen so far in this tournament, I feel, is Goods that we saw earlier this evening. And Dami is a star player. He always was, and he was the flashy gray main. He was the carry. He was the one that had, Kaldor and Dreadnought screaming on the cast, and then had me screaming on the analyst desk, where he had 0 deaths and that winning game because he was just so well supported. But again, it's not his meta now. Their opponents, of course, Supreme Mixtape, Wiz, the player that wanted to play in NA, No Chat, a long-standing Heroes of the Storm player who never had big success. Dudu, the guy who is a great Vala, if given the right supports, really shines. And this is a good time to be a Vala main.
Yeah, it is. It is the meta, and then not just Vala, but you also have to have some other heroes in your back. But of course, having Wiz, the brain, so to say, he is the coach for the team, and No Chat heavily favoring Zarya, and did play Zarya against L5, did not turn out to be a win, but still, it was worth the ban, and it does get banned so much, and even they won the entire open division in the HGC Korea a few weeks ago, and did not drop a mat, but still, the open division did not have an L5, MVP Black, or Tempest, or even MVP Miracle.
That's right. And No Chat, I think he strikes me as that insanely good solo queue player. He's always high up on GM, but he's now going to work with the team at a very competitive tournament. I was most impressed with his Medivh, to be honest with you, and we'll see if that comes out again today.
Yeah, that's right, and let's take a look at the Battleground. Infernal Shrine banned. A little surprising. And Braxis again banned. Are we ever going to see a map of Braxis in this season?
Just doesn't feel like it. It is first pick to Miracle, so Supreme Mixtape has chosen Dragonshire here. We might see that Warhead Junction, maybe, probably not, but I mean, it's available. And if we go all 5 games, I suppose it is possible. And Tomb of the Spider Queen is available here too, which is somewhat unusual. We haven't seen it even a single time in this tournament, I believe, and we're now in our 9th best of 5. And of the 8, we have seen no Tomb of the Spider Queen, so it's not Europe over here.
Yeah, it was banned like 1 or 2 times because sometimes the teams were facing team members from TNL before, and they are famous for Spider Queen Masters. So, but here we go into the Dragonshire, the ban. Of course, banning out Zarya. It also takes out a huge potential for no chat on Supreme Mixtape.
Absolutely. This is a Falstad map if I've ever seen one, so I imagine that Supreme Mixtape is considering the Falstad ban here. There it is.
I don't know. Maybe this is our first time seeing Falstad today.
Falstad is just so powerful in Korea, and
it is.
The Tassadar availability here is scary. Miracle may just lock it up here, but they won't get the pairing, so they may actually just leave it to Supreme Mixtape, and this is probably what Supreme Mixtape is looking for here. I think the cool pick you can do here for Miracle is actually just take Vala, and then you look at the pairings of what's available with Tassadar, and it feels like a little bit weaker with Vala removed. So there it is.
And of course, MB Miracle does like to play Vala a lot, and it deserves a first pick. We even saw Vala first pick several times during Super League Season 3, which was the previous HGC Korea last year. And looking at the draft today, I think, and I saw some of the draft from EU and NA, it is somewhat different still. The meta is not the same, but it is, I think it's coming together in a way, and it is going towards that macro game a little more after the Korean season started.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now here's a query, because why take Rag Varian this early? We saw it earlier today, and the more and more we see it, the more and more it seems to be the pro gamers think this is correct, right? Ragnaros Varian, this is a very smash taunt combo, super powerful. Just the trait of Ragnaros in general, very, very powerful. But the question is it worth it when you give Tassadar Malfurion to Miracle? Malfurion not even a must pick here, but the Tassadar that you give is so scary. Now, I talked about it before. If you take Vala, it's less appealing to take Tassadar. But it's just so unfortunate that now Miracle, I mean, the second those were locked in, they thought about it for maybe 5 seconds, and they're like, yeah, of course we just Tassadar Malfurion here, because now we have Vala Tass, and Supreme Mixtape, at least in this case, doesn't have to worry about Ariel, because they already have Malfurion, so they're probably considering the ETC ban here, I imagine.
Yeah, Tist was super, super good, even better than Joker in some ways on that ETC, so that's probably the best ban, if you have to say. There's some other options, yeah, just like the Haka, just for that global presence, because they do not have a global yet.
And when you ban Dahaka, it leans more and more towards Hong Kong and playing that ETC, just simply because of the global presence you just described. His early game presence as well. Dragonshire, not the map where you see a lot of ETC ganks in the solo lane, but Ragnaros again has no escape, so that's something that we'll have to keep in mind as we go forward here, as Miracle looks for this ban. Something else to keep in mind too is Dami Zeratul is something that could pop out here because of the ganks I just described. So just throwing all these kind of theory crafting here into this draft as Miracle has 20 seconds to decide. I'd say banning a ranged hero like Tychus here is your best bet. Just because you already have Falstad removed, you have Vala on your side. And yes, they can take Leeming, but you're not too concerned about that. So there's the Tychus ban. And now, Supreme Mixtape, if they take Leeming, for the reasons we described, I'm worried. It's that burst damage and the burst shield kind of counteracting each other. It doesn't make Leeming a powerful pick here.
Yeah, exactly what you talked about. We saw that, we mentioned that a couple times just during today's first match and second match. Maybe taking a cooldown would be a better choice, and take that Echo Corruption and look for that late game burst damage. Maybe that's a possibility what Supreme Mixtape can do right now, but they do really favor, especially Scarlet, does favor Rehgar into play. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's a tough choice. I think they're trying to decide between Li Ming and Gul'dan in terms of range damage. And it's going to be Sergeant Hammer. Actually comes out instead with Thrall. Long time no see. That's a no chat here if I've ever seen one. No chat loves his Thrall.
Well, that Thrall, I cannot believe that we never mentioned Thrall today.
Sure. The thing is, he hasn't really been picked as highly as he is in Hero League in Korea, for example. He requires a lot of coordination, and as you were saying before, this is kind of a meta where we don't see that much melee assassin play.
Like if you want to go in and use that Earthquake, of course it is strong, and his cooldown is 100 seconds now, so it gives him a little bit more risk when you use one, and then while you're trying to go in, you may actually blow up and maybe gets rooted, or just your entire team cannot, if your team really cannot follow you with you, then you're just done. You just pop the Earthquake and you're gone.
The Thrall is somewhat of a soft ban on Zeratul here as well. That's, you can see Gidami in the camera shot here is definitely giving some consideration to the Zeratul pick here. And it's going to be Tyrael ETC, so they decide to go with the Tyrael for the extra sanctification he's going to provide to ETC. We knew ETC was likely going to be the pick because of what's available in terms of tanks and because of the Dahaka ban. So this gives him a little bit of global presence, like we were talking about before. And for Supreme Mixtape here, it's really just a choice between Rhaegar and Kharazim. I'd say there's even a potential Morales that could come through with this as well. I personally would like to see the Rhaegar here. With a strong frontliner like Thrall, the burst heal that Ancestral gives is just so powerful.
I think the Ancestral can be one of the better answers compared to if you're talking about... There's some other supports that's possible still. Like Morales is even possible, but here Rhaegar seems to be the right choice.
Lily is not one of the choices, but yeah.
Lily is not, and Uther is not at the moment.
It'd be sick to see Uther here, to be honest. If it were the new patch, I'd be like,
Lily and Water Dragon, or Uther with Storm. It is Rhaegar as we expected. Because he needs a lot of healing. It's gonna be Ancestral for. I'm pretty sure on that.
If they Bloodlust here, then I'm going to be unhappy. Rhaegar has a lot more self-heal than he did before with his Earthquake, now that it actually does damage and procs his trait, but...
And Hammer can just burst his tank siege mode out a little faster, but still having that Vala. Let's see if MVP Miracle can take a win, or surprisingly, Supreme Mixtape can take a win in game number 1. Let's go into game number 1 in Dragonshire.
All right, MVP Miracle, Honkono and Dami, 2 summer champions. Sniper, 2015 champion, Crazy Moving, 2015 champion, and Darvish on ETC, Tyrael, Tastar, Vala, and Malfurion, respectively, to start things off.
Their opponent, Supreme Mixtape, Scarlet on Rhaegar, Dudu on Sergeant Hammer, Wiz on Thrall, Judy on Varian, No Chat on Ragnarok.
This is a team of champions from different eras. You've got 2015, you have Summer, all in one, and this is a team of legends. MVP Miracle. If they can sort this roster out, if Honkono can tighten up his play, on paper this team should be one of the best in this league.
They deserve to be on the top 4, but having that tough loss against Mighty on that first day, I think they really learned their lesson. And especially Honkono not staying with the team, just way too aggressive as a solo tank in the front line.
Speaking of which, he's going to use this ETC to get some early game pressure here onto Judy. He will escape though. Judy's the player on this team that everyone in Korea is talking about. Just his ability to peel and just kind of be a backbone for the team. That's everything that the Korean side of thing, the fans and the casters talk about a lot. And I really do believe that he's shined quite brightly, especially on Friday, as he was talking about in the match against L5.
I think he was one of the more consistent tanks, among the, especially among the new players that we have not seen too much.
I have to agree with that.
and they are
Just a channel here, but he's gonna Thrall cancels it.
they're focusing on. I actually like this rotation, just focusing having 3 of them distributed on the bottom. So make sure they can contest the bottom actually, and having Ragnaros in the middle, he can just cancel that channeling from happening. So they're not giving away this first Dragon Knight that easily.
Completely with you on all that, and this is it's funny to see just how powerful ETC is as a hero in the early game, and you could even bully a Sergeant Hammer out of the lane and into to go back and get that heal, because Sergeant Hammer is usually the hero you send to this bot tri-lane to be a pushing hero. He's very powerful on this map, control the lane, but not in this case. Really struggling is Dudu right now.
So you get that. Rhaegar is a very strong support with a lot of heal, but with his chain heal, but still, if you're talking about long-term fighting, sustain, just we just saw basically the C moving just not having his HP down entirely. Well, he wasn't getting too much shot also, but Malfurion's just able to sustain is just above the charts right now. That's also why Malfurion is just way too popular.
Notice also the positioning of Rag in the mid lane, because they went up to gank him, they were unsuccessful. This actually allowed the channel to happen down here for SMT, so that rotation actually went poorly for Miracle. You can see the difference here in what we're seeing from Rag in this game versus what we were seeing from HGC in previous games. Just not dying is so significant. You make those rotations fail, and MVP loses out as a result. They're going to win this lane now that they're sticking in it, though, and they're going to get this channel. Tyrael is getting ganked at the top, by the way. Ragnaros is rotating up during all of this. He will get away. Judy looks like he may go down. Nope.
That was
protected
close.
by the
The
wall.
Q actually, if that Q actually hit Judy at the time, it might have got him, but it hit the wall and barely saved by the wall. And if they keep on just having this without a big rotation, I think there's a good chance that we're gonna see Dragon Knight after like 7 or 8 minutes, possibly.
Thrall obviously always wins the top lane, which is why it's really difficult for Miracle to have a channel here with a solo lane Tyrael. Tyrael's a tough laning opponent, obviously because he bullies the lane with his shields and has a decent amount of wave clear. But that's the reason why these channels have not really been happening for Miracle, though he does actually control it temporarily and pushes the lane, as you can see on the minimap there. We're kind of just watching this poking lane. This is a very passive game so far. Keep an eye on the minimap. This time he just used Aldruins, and up comes Rag on the minimap, you can see. And it looks like he's going to retreat, as we see this attempted invade here. For some reason our observer today does not want to show the top lane like at all. There's so much happening there, but
Because there's more action on the bottom, but they're actually going to lose this camp. Miracle and Ragnaros comes around from the side, which is pretty dangerous for No Chat. He has to be careful. We saw No Chat going down so many times, just being alone by himself.
that we do. This channel here, if Aldruins might allows him to squat, they can channel. Looks like he's going to Aldruins in a little bit late. Meanwhile, we see this pick here in the top lane once more, though. Aldruins does allow him to take it, but we see Scarlet takes the bot during all this time. So just the amount of time it took to kill No Chat was enough for them to channel that. We'll see if they can retake it. It looks like they will. Now, let's see if in the top lane if they actually squat and commit to this. Tasser's going mid. Yeah, Dami's just going to squat. This is what I like to call squatting. You just sit on it, and you get the channel. He's pretty low, to be honest. Like, Wiz might actually kill him. Nope. Gets away, gets a Dragon Knight. There you go.
And No Chat just delayed the timing by just a little bit. And even going into Molten Core already, I thought that was a little bit too early, but I guess they want to just put that damage onto the first Dragon Knight. The first Dragon Knight at 540, that's very slow, because this rotation has been just keep on being about it, just being safe the entire time.
You know, he really only got the wall there. This is not too significant. But because Wiz didn't get the kill top, obviously this is huge, and they're going to get 10 off of this. And this is just, at this point in time, 2 walls down, which is why they have that at UXP League, because they're winning this bot lane handedly the entire time. Sniper's can come down, he's going to Q this and maybe hit it 1 time before he loses his dragon form.
3 seconds.
Gets 2 hits, 3, and they're going to get the 4, he gets 4 hits before that expires. And
They can't contest right now, even though they're overextending a little bit because they're 10, they're 11 now.
Notice no chat as soon as he sees the rotation away, leaves and goes top, expecting this Merc camp to be, clap some by his teammates, which is in fact what happens. Now during this, because we just saw the check by Tastar in mid, they know that this is safe to take this bruiser camp. So now they can get 2 bruisers for the price of 1.
Dami just uses that sync just to be just to keep alive. But all this time, and Dami being safe, all of the other members just can go around and keep camping. And Supreme Mixtape, they are going to lose this macro fight in another minute or so. They're gonna find themselves in trouble. Where did things start to go wrong?
The Dragon Knight, and Dami essentially just blocking Wiz from denying that camp with the Aldruins. That's something that I used to talk about a lot back when I was a new Heroes of the Storm commentator, so that was so significant. It's not as important as I remember commentating with Moonlit about this in 2015, talking about how this map in particular, it's important. It's the fact that some heroes, some tanks, solo tanks can go over the wall and some can't. And in this case, Thrall, the solo laner, can't go over the wall, so Aldruins allowed him to channel that and squat it. And that meant that they could get the Dragon Knight. Little moves like that, just differences in the solo laning hero, can actually really change the game. And that's what Dami did. I mean, all he had to do was queue over the wall to get on that for just a second to get that Dragon Knight. And Darvish, excuse me, not Darvish, Sniper, just goes up and channels it, so good coordination here. And then the Dragon Knight was able to get 2 walls, that's fine. Getting the fort was a little bit crazy, I'm surprised that happened. But Supreme Mixtape, their comp relies on that combo I was talking about with Taunt and Sulfuric. Finally, they have 10, they have this ability to fight and contest, and they have Earthquake, which is super powerful as well. So there's a way where you could taunt, then do smash, and then slowly retreating heroes down with Earthquake and get a lot of kills. It's a great team fighting comp. What? How did this happen?
And they got the channeling again. Supreme Mixtape, they were a little, I can't say slow. I think they're pressured in a way because they lost the first one, and then now they're already saying, what are we doing? Exactly what I said, what went wrong, and where did it start to go wrong, and what do we do now? Because all the camps started to push from the bottom, from the mid. Now No Chat's gonna finish that Molten Core to do some damage, but Sniper just charges out. That's hammer. They might actually go for the second keep, and they have the potential to do so. Brawl comes around. ETC is still on top. Maybe this is their chance. Let's see if Zank is already popped.
All right, Judy is running in here. Dami with perfect positioning here. They do finally get the hook onto Sniper, though. And Sulfuric Smash used to blow him up. He had already used his escape. During all of this, ETC was soaking top. Had Sniper survived, then they could have gone in for a kind of backward stage dive to trap Supreme Mixtape. But that was really good coordinated focus there on Supreme Mixtape, and just abusing the fact that Sniper was out of position. This works out very well for them. So they're still behind, but 1 pick, definitely strong. And part of the reason why Miracle is this significantly ahead of EXP still is because that Honkono soak in the top lane was just pouring into them.
Yeah, he was about to come down, and he decided to just get 1 more wave and basically soak so much EXP on top, even if the losing one. And then looks like Honkono did his homework.
Yeah, he's definitely playing a little bit more defensively.
He's changed, man.
Look at him. He's not going to pass the mid.
He's taunting though. Wow. Maybe he had that info because all of his teammates did see them going up a little bit, but still, that's a great play. You have to have that patience to be pro.
Absolutely. Well done. We're going to see a 4-man rotation up. No Chat was the target. We see the root actually hits Doo-Doo here. Well, they're not able to follow with anything up. They want to make something happen because they want to get that fort. That's going to get them so close to 16. It's at 1% health. So if they could actually just hit that fort with almost anything, and they get 16.
And they're still losing EXP, a lot of them at top, and ETC can just stage dive anytime he wants to. Miracle can just soak up EXP from bot, mid, and just solo top all day as an ETC, and Thrall decides to go, but still that was way too late.
Supreme Mixtape took Falstad away. Miracle had first pick. They took that global away. They banned out Dahaka, but they allowed ETC, and ETC is doing so much as a global hero in this game post 10. We're going to see this fight. Here's the stage dive, speaking of which, a huge root as well. The Ancestral goes off somehow, some way there, despite the silence, but it's not going to matter. Dudu goes down first. Judy's in trouble. 16 is reached. As you see, Miracle clicks it in for all their heroes very quickly. No chat is blocked here. Sank goes off, and Wiz is going to be the last to fall here, it seems, as Dami jumps in. He did not actually get his holy ground in time. He did not actually talent that, so he will now, but if he had it there, it would have been even easier to get the pick on Wiz. He gets it regardless.
Oh my goodness, Miracle just absolutely just annihilating entire team except for Regard, but because they had a talent advantage, of course, and just having a 4v4 situation where ETC can just jump on the enemy team. Supreme Mixtape had to be careful a little bit more. Thrall took some more time to join. And by the time he joined the team fight, basically the fighting was not almost over, but basically they were getting punched. Like, they're not even attacking, they're just running
defending.
away from
the
fight.
They're retreating. They were hiding in the corner, hands up to block. Essentially, they were the ones
not
getting
enough
hit.
though.
Not enough. It's actually amazing as well that Sniper can consistently be the one in this Dragon Knight. He's absolutely the best hero to have in it. Because as soon as it expires, he can escape, and also he doesn't do a lot of damage. They don't lose anything except shields, which he can already pre-shield his team anyways because he has Kalas. So it's consistently him in the Dragon Knight, which means that they're just winning on all counts. He's always rotating in. It's perfect coordination. I mean,
to summarize what you just said, Tassadar is so good right now in this meta.
yes.
Yes.
He won't be as good, I don't personally feel, after the patch goes live.
Yeah, I think so too.
And HGC next week, but this might be one of the last times you guys see Tassadar in a pro match for a while here in Korea. We'll see how he gets used after the rework, but currently, not.
I feel like he's gonna still come out as some teams favor Tassadar a lot, especially MVP teams, but not as much.
Well, with his slow, I mean, he has a lot of utility, but part of his strength, which was also part of the reason I loved playing him so much, is in his Calls and Blaze, his really strong leeching plasma. Calls is so important because you basically have your entire team has 4 health than they're supposed to. Like, they have Storm Shield non-stop. They got Lucio Sound Barrier non-stop. So that being removed, essentially, changed a little bit, is going to make him less good. The slow is nice. It's cool. Let's not make this a Tassadar discussion yet. We'll talk more about that next week.
Yeah, I'm sure that's in the red thread somewhere next week when it comes along. And it does get rooted. Dudu out of position for now. The Holy Ground does this position, the Supreme Mixtape a little bit. ETC looking for a chance to come in from the side. He can actually be soaking EXP all this time, and he decides to go right now.
All right. This is a really scary moment for Miracle with this lane push like this. This is the time that Supreme Mixtape is at their strongest because they have the same talent tier. If this goes on for a little bit longer, then he's probably going to actually have to use his heroic to get out. But just say if this goes on any longer, Honkono is going to get them 20. They're already 19 now. And this heroic will be on cooldown for 65 more seconds. But Supreme Mixtape didn't send anybody down to clear that camp, so they're going to need to rotate down there now. Miracle is probably going to just go over here and take this camp. They're going to get vision because of the lane pushes right now of exactly what SMT is doing. 50 seconds left for Honkono. And they decide not to go to the camp. Actually just going to take the safe route to the left side. They're angling towards it. But they need to wait for Honkono's heroic to come back online. Now, ideally, they'd like to get Honkono over here at 20. So he's going to try to soak for 20, then they're going to push for this objective while they have that talent tier advantage, and he has his global available.
Yeah, exactly. And Brawl within that time took that camp, a smart decision, and just protecting Dudu is the right choice. And he's not too pressured because they know the stage dive is not available at the moment.
Yeah, but it is in 10 seconds, and I think SMT is pushing this really hard considering that Honkono was about to flank them.
And then they're still at same talent. They're not 20 yet. It's going to take some more time, at least the 40 seconds, not even 40 seconds. As ETC is soaking up so much EXP right now when Supreme Mixtape needs to realize this, that they're about to hit 20, and they do.
They do. They get out of here. This is so scary. Honkono, if he wasn't really focusing on the 20, could have actually come down here to win a fight, which would have gotten them 20 anyways. but he's not going to risk it, which is actually very un-Honkono-like. And I'm actually liking the Honkono we're seeing today much better than what we saw on Friday. He's playing it passively. And guess what? Sniper again. Going to be the Dragon Knight Channeler. And Supreme Mixtape just ran away there. They gave total control of the map to Miracle, which means that, of course, this is going to be a Dragon Knight. But I have to respect this choice. We're only 1640s. This is not a game-ending Dragon Knight unless they lose people. But they knew that they couldn't contest this against 20.
Yeah, and they made the safer choice, and they didn't risk too much if they actually went in and just stayed there for a few more seconds. That could have been dangerous because Honkono was ready to dive in, I'm pretty sure, even before hitting level 20.
Oh, he gets interrupted here with his stage dive. Actually, he's caught 6 seconds before he can use it again. And if he gets stunned once more, he's not going to be able to get out. Meanwhile, Molten Core actually buying a lot of time in bot. This is great for Supreme Mixtape. Honkono has to bolt.
He even used that bolt, but he can join the team on the other side, going just Hearth back home and then just stage dive right into the fight. So ETC is not the worst one to actually get damage from. But during this time, No Chat is caught and very low, close being that gets Ancestral. But now it is MVP Miracle in danger a little bit, but still in favor of Supreme Mixtape. They have to run now. Judy very low due to his first one to go down. Wiz on the other side trying to stall some time with Earthquake. Oh my goodness.
Dami has Hardened Shield as well here, so he's basically invulnerable. And it's Honkono time. He comes in, power slides, gets the 2 stuns. They're fighting underneath the core, which is causing them a lot of grief here, but it looks like it's just going to be enough as now Wiz is the target. If he goes down, this will certainly be game. They're going to commit to the core anyways. ETC did take Bolt, so he doesn't have Storm Shield to help this push. And this is a good opportunity for SMT. They need to get a pick here onto Sniper. Oh, Wiz misses it, though. If they get a pick on the Sniper, maybe they could stop this. Doesn't look likely anymore. I think MVP Miracle will take game number 1 here with a strong push. There it is, GG. And SMT fought hard in that game. They had some good decisions, but overall, Miracle just outclassed them in the lanes, which got them the Dragon Knights, which led to enough structural lead that they took the game.
MVP Miracle, especially Honkono. What a guy.
What a guy.
He's changed. He's not the Honkono we used to